Rahim. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala Rasulil Kareem. So we were discussing the sunnat, that means the extra things over and above the fara'is, which the things over and above the fara'is, they're also in different categories. You get mustahab, you get sunnat mu'akkada, you get sunnat ghair mu'akkada. So I mentioned you sunnat mu'akkada and sunnat ghair mu'akkada is more in salat, right? But yeah, if you look at Sahib Hidayah, the original text of which he quotes of Uduri, Jami Saghir, they never really, he never really go take the trouble to explain exactly whether certain things are sunnah, whether certain things are mustahab. They just mention briefly, they put it in one. But that's how the earlier fuqaha had done. If you need to look at the more detailed kitabs to find out exactly whether it is sunnah, or whether it is mustahab, etc., etc. Although Sahib Hidayah did try to mention something in his commentary, but anyway, yeah, we are mentioning those things that are over and above the farais. So she is saying, وَيُسْتَحَبُّ لِلْمُتَوَضِّئِ أَن يَنْوِيَ الطَّهَارَةَ. It is mustahab for the person that's making wudu that he intends to, that when he makes his wudu, he's intending that he is going to make wudu. So what this effectively means is, like I told you, if something is mustahab, it means it's good. You will get reward. If you don't do it, it doesn't mean you won't get reward, right? You actually, you right. So uh, that effectively means if a person washed his limbs without intention, he will still have wudu. So I look here, if I ask you a question. A person went to the ocean and he jumped in the ocean and all the limbs that needed to be washed got washed, but he had no intention of wudu. Will his wudu be done? Will it be done? Yes, his wudu will be done according to Hanafi Madhab because intention is not a condition. Another thing, it was raining cats and dogs. It was raining cats and dogs. And a person, he walked outside here, he went and he walked outside here in the rain, and his body got soaking wet to such an extent that every limb that has to be washed in wudu was washed. What we say wudu is done. Right. Okay, I'll give you another example. Your friends were swimming and you went to visit them there and they pushed you into the water. You forget about having intention of wudu or not. You fell into the water. All the lumps of wudu got wet. Well, we say your wudu is done. Yes, your wudu is done because intention is not a condition, right? Are you with me? So, so فالنية في الوضوء سنة عندنا وعند right. So read it. Okay, you read that part, eh? Okay. So فالنية في الوضوء سنة. Niyat according to us is sunnat, meaning it is, if you do it, inshallah, you'll get a lot of reward, etc. But I told you before, if you want the exact categorization of mustahab and sunnah, then we have to look in the detailed fatwa kitab, right? So the main thing here, what time they saying is, it is not a compulsory component of the wudu. To such an extent, if you don't have wudu, if you never make niyat, your wudu is done. Like I told you, you fell into the pool, right? وَإِنَّ الشَّافِعِيِّ فَرْضٌ. According to the Shafi madhab, it is farz. Like I told you, according to the Shafi madhab, if you're playing through you in the pool and you never have intention, or if you walked in the rain and you got wet, and all the lamps that is necessary was not wet, then it will not constitute wudu. لأنه إبادة فلا تصح بدون التيمم بدون النية كالتيمم. So this is the reasoning of Imam Shafi. Say, look here, wudu is an ibadat, right? Because you are drawing close to Allah Ta'ala, right? That's right. فلا تصح. So any ibadat, it will not be correct unless you do not have intention. You can't get reward without intention. Right? فلا تصح بدون النية. It will not be correct without the niyyah. كالتيمم, like tayammum. You see, in tayammum, you Hanafis is saying, not saying, but I mean the point is, it isn't Hanafis according to you in tayammum. You also have to have niyyat. You say yes. They say tayammum is also a mutahhir. What? It is to purify you. So why in wudu you don't need intention? Right. Read the next part. لأن التراب لأن التراب غير مطهر إلا في حال إرادة الصلاة. Right. So what's our proof? Bismillah, to say it is not compulsory component, but it is rewardable. وَلَا أَنَّهُ لَا يَقَعُ قُرْبَةً إِلَّا بِالنِّيَّةِ. We say, look here, first thing, we agree with you, yes, that for something to get reward, you have to have niyat, right? We agree with you that point. To such an extent, we say that if somebody made wudu without niyat, the wudu will be done, but you won't get the reward. And we agree with you. And why will the wudu be done? This is the reason it's going to be explained in the next. See, water's intrinsic nature is to purify. Huh? So whether you had niyat or not, it will still purify you. Look, if I hit you here, one shot, that the intrinsic nature is that my slapping you is going to give you pain. Now, whether I made intention to hit you or not, I'm still going to feel the pain. So I give you one hard shot. You say, oh, it's sore. I say, no, man, can't be sore. I never intend to hit you. I had no intention to hit you, brother. How can you feel sore? You say, no, but the intrinsic nature of your hand is to hurt me. So same thing, we say the intrinsic nature of water is to purify. Allah says, وَأَنزَلْنَا مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً طَهُورًا. That we send the water from the sky to purify. So whether you have, like somebody, you say, look here, if some najasat fell on your hand here, right? Like urine or whatever, whether you had intention or not to wash it, you wash it away thoroughly. That najasat is gone, your hand is parked. You won't say, hey, you never have intention to wash this najasat here, so how can your hand be clean? You say, no. وَأَنزَلْنَا مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً طَهُورًا. The intrinsic nature of the water was to remove the najasat, so it removed it. So same thing here, the intrinsic nature of the water, وَأَنزَلْنَا مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً طَهُورًا. The water was that it must purify, and here it purified you, right? So that's what he's saying. لكنه see يقع مفتاحا للصلاة. Whether you had intention or not, it will still take place as a key to salah. مفتاح للصلاة لوقوعه طهارة, because it comes about, it occurs as a purification, right? باستعمال المطهر, because he used a mutahhir, and the water is a mutahhir, right? بخلاف التيمم. Now we're answering the proof of Imam Shafi. You say no. Don't compare water to tayammum. And I'll explain you first, and I'll put it into Ibadah. I say, look here, water's natural intrinsic quality is what, sir? Is what? To purify. Sand, normally, what is its intrinsic quality? What's the quality? What's the quality? Sand rather makes you dirty. Sand makes you dirty. Sand makes talweez. But Allah Ta'ala, contrary to its nature, as a necessity, Allah Ta'ala made it a form of purification. So if you want that thing to act contrary to its intrinsic nature as a purification, you must have the intention. You understand what I'm saying? Unlike water, whether you have, like I told you, fire, whether you have intention or not, it must burn you. If you expose yourself to the fire is going to burn you. Right? So same thing here. Whether you have intention or not for the water, it is going to purify you. Right? But tayammum, it is not an intrinsic purifier. Allah Ta'ala made it a purifier. So in order to practice upon that rukhsat which Allah Ta'ala gave you, you will have to have intention. Right? That's one reason. And remember I told you something. Reason here, you mustn't think about, hey, yo, the honest thing was weak here, man. There's a weak reason. This is only one of the many reasons. This is one of the many reasons. There are many reasons. There's another reason also, I'm sure it was mentioned in the kitab. Yeah, it comes in the kitab. See, لأن التراب غير مطهر. Sand intrinsically غير مطهر. It is not a purifier. إلا في حال إرادة الصلاة. Except when Allah Ta'ala has made it a purifier when you intend salah. So you must, when you make tayammum, you say, Ya Allah Ta'ala, I'm taking this tayammum to purify myself for salah, right? And another reason, oh, yumbi'u anil qasdi. If you look at the word tayammama yatayammam, it means to intend something. أو فتيمموا صعيدا طيبا فامسحوا بوجوهكم وأيديكم. So the word tayammum means to intend. So naturally, if you want it to have that intrinsic quality, you must intend. You understand what I'm saying? You must intend. Are you with me? Okay, so that's so there. So okay, so if you as I said, maybe this is a basic discussion, but there's much more denial if you come in your hadith books. you come to Bukhari Sharif, you come to Tirmidhi Sharif, which we will do maybe not next year or the following year. You'll see much more dalail that we will cover there. Uh, with regards to for and against the different arguments. But for the timing, you understand it. And the other thing is that we're saying if you want to get the reward of the wudu, then you must have intention. So if you're jumping into the pool, you say, Yalla, I'm jumping into the pool one time, I'm making intention of wudu, then you will, although you won't get the reward of making the wudu according to the sunnah, you won't get the reward of making, but you'll get the reward of making wudu. Or you're going to swim in the ocean, so you jump in the ocean and you say, Yalla, I'm making intention for wudu. So inshallah, you'll get the reward for making wudu, but now you won't get the reward of making the sunnah. But you can still in the ocean, gargle your mouth, clean your nose, wash your face, wash your arms, make massage, twiggle your feet in the water, then inshallah you'll get the reward of making wudu, and you get the reward of making sunnah wudu. So just to recap it, I'll tell you, if you jump in the water, no intention, your wudu is done because you washed the lumps, it was necessary to be washed, but no reward because you have no intention. Innamal a'malu binniyat. Right? Then if you made intention without following the sunnah procedure, you will get the reward of making wudu. Take our time to make the sunnah, you get double reward. So this hadith, which is innamal a'malu binniyat, we say it refers to reward, not to the validity. So when we say innamal a'malu binniyat, actions will be according to intention. So if you made intention for wudu, you'll get the reward. But the Tawafi says innamal a'malu tasihhu binniyat. That a'mal are only correct when they have the niyat. So if you have no niyat, the amal is not ready, it's not done on its own. That's what I'm saying. So I was telling you earlier, this is just a brief discussion, but on the same thing, I promise you, you can find pages and pages, proof from the Hanafis, proof from the Shafis, counter dalail, not necessary for all of that. The main thing is just understand the Masna, right? Okay, read the next one. Okay. So in the next discussion, I'll give you a brief overview of the next discussion so it'll be easy to understand. So we're still discussing what are the sunan, right, of wudu. So we say that the sunnah of masa, remember we said according to the Hanafi madhab, the minimum of masa is 1/4 of the head. The minimum of masa is 1/4 of the head. So we say the sunnah is then to do the whole head. Then you get the reward of practicing sunnah. It's not that you have to make masa 3 times of the head, like how the sunnah of the arms is to wash the arm 3 times. The sunnah of the face is to wash the face 3 times. The sunnah of the feet is to wash the feet 3 times, etc. So we say the sunnah is what? Is just to wash the whole head. The minimum is 1/4, but by washing the whole head, inshallah, you will get the reward of sunnah. See? So you see there, وَيَسْتَوْئِبُ رَأْسَهُ. You got any ibarat on Ra's there, no? I got your Ra'su, but it doesn't make sense. So, Ra'sahu. He will cover his whole head with the masa. Right? وَهُوَ sunnatun. And what I mean by sunnah, that means that they say there that additional over the 1/4, the extra there, that is a sunnat, right? It is not farz, right? وقال الشافعي رحمه الله تعالى السنة هو التثليث بمياه مختلفة اعتبارا بالمغسول. Imam Shafi says that to make massage 3 times of the head, and every time with different water, every time with fresh water. So what is his proof? He said, look here, all the other limbs, what is the sunnah? You wash it 3 times, and each time you take fresh water. So say that see a sunnah too, he says sunnah, what tasrif? Salasa yusallisu, means to make 3. To do it 3 times, be miyahin, miyah means it's plural of ma'un. Remember from 3 to 10, you know the law. You use the other is plural, and the ma'adud is what? Is sorry, no, I'm mistake. Sorry, my mistake. I got wrong. This is Mawsuf Sifat. Sorry, my mistake. So biyain mukhtalif, you're supposed to different water. In other words, your fresh water, right? You won't use the same water. You don't make masa one time, and the same thing you make masa again. No, you take fresh water. right? اعتبارا بالمغسول, considering the normal washed limbs. Exactly. So he's making qiyas. As Imam Shafi, يقيس مسألة المغسول أو أعضاء المغسولة برأس الممسوحة. فهمت؟ يقيس سيدنا الشافعي رحمه الله تعالى يعني سنية المغسولة بثلاث بمسح المسح, right, بثلاث مرات. فهمت? Right. So we say ولنا, and our proof to say that the sunnah is to do the whole head one time. That is sunnah. Then you get the word. And Anas son, that is Anas radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he was the khadim of Nabi Sallam, spent so much time in the company of Nabi Sallam. So obviously he was screwed up and he was jacked up with the bad habits, right? توضأ ثلاثا ثلاثا. He washed all his limbs three times, right? ومسح برأسه مرة واحدة. But he made masah the completed only once. And he said, وقال هذا وضوء رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. And he, as others said, that this of washing the head one time is the wudu of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Right? Didn't we say, right? So that is our proof. But now we still got the hadith of Imam Shafi where he said that there's a hadith, not mentioned here, but there's a hadith where as Imam Shafi said that Nabi Sallam made masah three times. وَالَّذِي يُرْوَى مِنَ التَّسْلِيفِ محمول عليه بماء واحد. There is a riwayat we concede which mentioned that Nabi Sallam made masah three times with the same water. So we say, look, I'll give you the answer first. We say, yes, this is also, we don't say it is not established. You can wash three times, but it was not the constant practice of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And the Hanafi Madhab also considered this because remember I told you that in the Hanafi Madhab, the main ones is Imam Yusuf and Imam Shafi. I told you you get a lesser known students of Imam Shafi. And here he's saying Hassan bin Ziyad. According to Hassan bin Ziyad, Imam Abu Hanifa also said you can practice upon this riwayat. They say make masah three times, but with the same water. Don't take fresh water. So we are giving due consideration to that. We're not outrightly debunking or shooting down the madhab in Shafi. We say it's also a way of doing it, and it's also mashru' in the Hanafi madhab. Hassan bin Ziyad narrated from Abu Hanifa, but we still say the preferred way or the continuous, constant practice of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was to wash what? Or rather to make masah of the whole head, right? So that's what I say. وَالَّذِي يُرْوَى مِنَ التَّسْرِيفِ, that which has been narrated that the Muslim washed three times, mahmulun alayhi bima'in wahid, it is taken to be with one water, use one water, not three times, right? ومشروع, it's also mashru', it's also established in the Hanafi madhab, and ala ma rawal Hasan, according to what Hassan bin Ziyad narrated. So what Imam Muhammad narrated in the Zahir riwayat is one time. Ne? You following now? Ne? I explain you what is the usul, right? Right? وروى الحسن what Imam Hassan said and Abi Hanifa rahimahullah. And like I told you before, when you got the riwayat from Imam Hanifa, from Imam Hassan, which is this is called when you do iftar, you will understand it, like it's called the Haruniyat, is a ghair usul. Then you always give preference to the usul, what Imam Yusuf or Imam Muhammad mentioned in the Zahiru riwayat, right? So, and also another thing is, وَلِأَنَّ الْمَفْرُودَ وَالْمَسْحُ. We say, look here, what is the actual thing? This I told you, Imam, we always have Isai Bidayah as a naqli dalil, then he said, sorry, he has a naqli dalil, a textual proof, and after his textual proof, he will mention to you what? A logical proof. And this is the logical proof. He's saying, look here, this is his logical proof. What is masah? Masah means to pass a wet hand over your limb. Now, if you're going to take water, fresh water, three times, and you're going to pass water on, what is going to happen? That thing will start dripping. And will start dripping, what is it? It's not masah, it's ghasl. The actual obligation, the wazifa, the stipend of the head is masah. And if you're going to take three times fresh water, you're going to change masah to ghasl. Although ghasl is better, but then you're not practicing on what the Quran told you to do. فهمت? See there. وَلِأَنَّ الْمَفْرُودَ هُوَ الْمَسْحُ. The actual obligation is to make masah. وَبِالتَّكْرَارِ, but by washing doing masah three times fresh water, يَصِيرُ غَسْلًا, it will become ghasl. وَلَا يَكُونُ مَسْنُونًا. And the thing that's proven from the Quran, Sunnah, etc. Although if you wash it, because washing is more intense than masah, your masah will be done, like even like the actual massage on your feet when you're wearing mosas, whatever, you must 3 fingers, you must. But if you threw some water on there, your massage is done. So we'll say your massage is done, no problem. But you're not doing it according to the sunnah. So you change it. So because massage is included in the ghasal, it is included in the sense that when you make ghasal, the masa is found, but it's not according to the sunnah. That we're saying, وَلَا يَكُونُ مَسْنُونًا. It is not masnoon, but كَمَسِّ الْخَفِّ, كَمَسِّ الْخُفِّ, like how in the khuf, you must pass a wet hand on. You won't say now, okay, start throwing water on there, or make masa 3 times so the whole khuf is wet, right? So بخلاف الغسل, this is contrary to ghasal. We're saying like when you wash 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, it doesn't change the meaning. It's still ghasal. Look here, if you are saying what I'm saying is like if you wash the stipend with regards to the face is to wash it 3 times. When you wash it 2 times, 3 times, it's still ghasal. It doesn't change from ghasal to something else. Although when you go to the wudu khana, when you see the guys taking long, they say, hey man, you're making ghusl here, what's wrong with you? This is a You must make ghasl here. You must make ghusl. This is not why are you bathing here? You're taking so long. So what they're saying here is this actually is this that uh, washing 3 times does not change the definition of ghasl. It's still ghasl. But making masa 3 times change from masa to ghasl. So that's why we say don't do this. Although this is a logical proof, but it's not our only proof, right? Right? Says لأنه لا يضر التكرار. Making washing several times does not harm it, changing it from one entity to another time, like how making massage several times changes from massage to ghasal. Are you with me? Okay, time is up. We'll stop there. We'll continue tomorrow, inshallah. I hope you're going over it. You're going over